available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Basilio here reminding you that when you want to sell your extra tickets to the game, you don't want to give your life away online with all your personal information just because you want to sell a few extra tickets. Clark Moore at Select Ticket Service will gladly buy your extra game tickets and your extra parking passes. And the best part, Clarky Boy pays cash. 865-919-1016. 865-919-1016. Clarky Boy pays cash at Select Ticket Service. Clarky Boy pays cash. Tony, be back with you. 865-200-5402, the Playbook, with William Pattison on the way next for you. I got to hand it to Negative because it has been just an absolutely beautiful week here in East Tennessee, and Greg's in Columbia will be back with us here momentarily. AC, what was his reply when I asked him about this bright, beautiful weather and this bright, sunshiny day we're having today? What was his reply?
He said, yeah, I'm sitting around enjoying your all's delusion.
You talk about just a bowl of cherries, man. The guy's got fans and the guy's got detractors. I'll give him that. He's got fans, though. Tomorrow we're live at Calhoun's on the River. Tomorrow, Dale Jones will be with us, breaking the game down scientifically. Dale's watching the video on the Vols in Alabama and is going to walk us inside what he thinks each team is going to try and accomplish in this game. I look forward to that. Hughie will be with us tomorrow as well. Just a huge, huge weekend in the SEC. I know the Vols are on the road, but get down and support us if you get the opportunity. In the meantime, William Pattison and the Playbook will have you up next. We'll stay here over at tclub.team where we've got a stellar blog up for you today. Tomorrow's will be better, but over at tclub.team today, we've got some great stuff, including the WeShipFloors.com, Tennessee Hardwood Report, and more. But in the meantime, I love you. I appreciate you. The Playbook with the man, the legend, William Pattison on the way next. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
And here we go, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. With Brett Hollander and Alex Sarkis, I'm William Pattison. We appreciate you listening along with us, however you may be doing so, on this fine Tennessee Thursday from Knoxville, Tennessee, as we continue to get ready for the third Saturday in October between the Tennessee Volunteers and Alabama Crimson Tide. A full 2 hours ahead of you today. We'll begin with the eyes on the prize, continuing the storylines and players to watch for in Saturday's matchup. And then we'll also talk about what Greg McElroy, who's on the call for this game, by the way. Greg McElroy is calling the game on Saturday night for ABC. What he had to say about Joey Aguilar. Very interesting comment. I don't know if it's necessarily professional to say right before you call the game, but it is what it is. We'll talk about what McElroy had to say about Joey Aguilar's start to the season. We'll also have our best bets look ahead, presented by VIP Play. And then in hour number 2, it's Thursday, so we do our college football buy or sell as we go into week 8 of the season. And we'll also talk about the unction. The unction is in town tonight on Thursday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco doing battle in 2025. You would have thought it's 2013, but no, here we are 12 years later, and we're still talking about these two quarterbacks. The Bengals and Steelers tonight on Amazon Prime. We'll tell you what to watch for in that one, and we'll wrap it up with our final thoughts. So plenty to cover on this Thursday edition of the Playbook. So happy that you're here. Let's welcome in the rest of the crew before we kick things off, beginning with Brett. Brett, how are you?
Good, buddy. It's a beautiful day. Another day closer to, Saturday, third Saturday in October.
Yeah.
It's not gone our way. It's gone our way, I guess. Just not down there. So looking forward to discussing a little bit more. A lot of bulletin board material for our guys this week. So, who knows how that pays off or not. Malik Washington had his say, and he kind of backed it up.
Yeah, he did.
So, we'll take all the help we can get.
Most definitely. Sorry, I had to get the chair out of the shot. I'm looking at the screen, the chair's in the shot. I had to move it. Alex, how are you?
Good, William. Obviously excited for Steelers game day tonight. But yeah, bulletin board material is flowing in this third Saturday in October week. You got Jeremy Bernard and McElroy with just a weird comment, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, doing good.
Well, the thing with Bernard, I think a little bit of it was taken out of context, and maybe that's my fault as I make the graphics and put it out, and I noticed that it got some good tailwind. So, but that's a good thing, right? But I think, Bernard was, also just kind of talking about man-to-man coverage in general for wide receivers going up against that. But
they love that.
I think a little bit of it as well is that Tennessee has not been good in man-to-man coverage so far this season.
I think there was a little bit of some animosity behind that.
Yeah,
there has to be.
There's a little bit. Jerry Bernard's played a lot of football. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. Yeah. So one more thing, too. It's already Thursday. I don't know about y'all, but football season, it just goes so fast to where
sure does.
I feel like I'm just walking out of Neyland Stadium on Saturday after Tennessee gets the win over Arkansas, and here we are on Thursday. I mean, tomorrow we're giving our keys to the game for Saturday's matchup. I mean, it just, once you get into the football season, man, it just goes and goes and goes. And now that you have so many of these great games on TV on Tuesday and Wednesday, Brett, like Delaware and Jacksonville State last night.
I'm just glad hockey started. That's all I can say.
Stop it.
I'm more of a hockey guy than any of that Maction stuff.
Stop it. Stop it. I did tune into Jack State in Delaware. The Blue Hens had a tough outing.
I'm not surprised whatsoever.
All right, let's get into our first things first topic, and it's the eyes on the prize. As a third Saturday in October returns under the lights as number 11 Tennessee hits the road to face number 6 Alabama at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And the 108th meeting between the storied rivals will air on ABC with SEC Nation and Marty and McGee on site in T-Town. Both programs enter the matchup 5-1 with Alabama atop the SEC standings at 3-0 and Tennessee right behind them at 2-1. And the Vols have won 2 of the past 3 meetings in the series and are just one of 2 programs nationally, along with Michigan, with multiple victories over the Crimson Tide since the start of the 2022 season. And as we continue our storylines for this week, last night we got our initial injury report, and my takeaways are a couple of things. First off, Jeremiah McCoy listed as out. There were some rumblings yesterday that we might see a doubtful, and I think the first time he is doubtful, Tennessee fans will throw their papers up in the air at the office and celebrate because that would be the closest thing we've had to him back on the field since we last saw him out against Ohio State last season. But he's out for at least the time being. I don't expect they'll change that. And from talking to people yesterday, I understand that he practiced last week. He had some swelling in his knee and was not able to go on Saturday against Arkansas. They were trying to get him ready for that one. I don't have confirmed details if he practiced this week, but I assume it's the same type of situation. And again, let me get something straight because a lot of people are like, he's just tanking out. He's just going to go straight to the draft, doesn't want to play. I kind of look at it the same situation as David Sanders. I mean, we were talking about this for a full month. A lot of people are like, David Sanders just doesn't want to play. The 5-star got his money, yada, yada. The guy was itching to play. That was never the thing. It was just he couldn't get cleared from the training staff. And they're going to be precautious for a guy like McCoy. He's got a bright future ahead of him. There's no reason to throw him out there if he's not ready. But it's not like Jeremiah just doesn't want to play, and it's not like he's mailing it in. He still wants to play at some point in this season. Now, the problem is you're running out of those big-time games. If you lose Saturday, every game the rest of the way is you're back against the wall. So maybe we see him in that big-time matchup in Lexington that Brett just can't wait for next week.
Getting bigger and bigger.
Well, hey, next week it will be a big one.
On how Saturday goes,
Yeah, because you can't lose.
Yeah.
But, I know we continue to do this, and I know people at home are like, William, why do we keep on talking about McCoy? It just, he is that special, and he's that big to this team. And with all these documented issues you're having in the defensive back room, it would be a luxury to have 2 first-round picks or first-round mocked picks in Colton Hood and Jeremiah McCoy playing on opposite sides. So not going to see him this weekend. Hopefully we'll see him against Kentucky, maybe split reps and then get full into action against Oklahoma. But I still do anticipate that we will see him at some point this season. I know a lot of people were wishing it would be this Saturday. So outside of that, let's focus on those wide receivers. Travis Smith Jr. and Radar Jackson, both out on Saturday. So now this puts Tennessee in a tough spot in terms of the receivers because the depth was a concern coming into the season. And a lot of those conversations we had in June, July, and August were, if one of these starters goes down, the cupboard's bare in terms of who could replace him. The starters have stayed healthy, knock on wood, but now that depth is starting to get pretty slim. And in an instance on Saturday where, one of your guys goes down, I think you'll see Joakim Dotson, the other freshman who comes over from Baylor School in Chattanooga, and he's got plenty of speed. He's had a couple of catches so far this season, but the depth after that would be like walk-ons. I mean, it'd be
Mari Jefferson not around?
Well, it depends on what you consider him.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, that's where you're looking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Mari Jefferson, would be right up there in line. And I honestly, from talking to people before the season, Jefferson had kind of been surpassed by some of these walk-ons. So,
sure.
I mean, it'd be basically, guys like Alex and I out there at wide receiver on Saturday if these guys go down. So that is going to be a concern. Ethan Davis was listed as questionable. He was out last week. Would love to have an additional tight end available, especially with Davis being a strong blocker so far for the Volunteers. Could see more 12 personnel. So obviously not what you wanted, what you hoped for. But on the opposite side, Alabama, Jam Miller was not listed as a guy that's going to play. He's going to be in that questionable to doubtful range. And if Jam Miller doesn't play, that's a positive for Tennessee because they're already down another running back. And the two guys that have kind of filled that void for Miller haven't been that successful. Most of their success has been out of the backfield as a pass catcher. And Jam Miller had a big time hit last week that he took. So, maybe it's not in Alabama's best interest to play him. I'd probably sit him if I were Alabama. I don't want to rush a guy back, right? As we're sitting here talking about Jeremiah McCoy. But other than that, I think it's kind of what you expected. But those two wide receivers, I think, are pretty significant. What'd you guys make of the injury report real quick, and we'll get into the rest of the action?
I don't think there's any surprises. I mean, it's good to see Deshaun Bishop probable because he took a really that hip drop tackle he took at the end of the game against Arkansas. There was some concern around that after the game, whether he would be good to go for this week. But Heupel said on Monday that he thought he would be good to go. And so he'll be out there hopefully for Tennessee on Saturday. And then, like you said, that wide receiver depth. I mean, Staley, Matthews, and Brazel played every single offensive snap for Tennessee this weekend. There was not a single reserve receiver that appeared in the game.
Yeah.
So it's looking like it's going to be the same thing against Alabama.
Yeah.
And then you got to remember Edwin Spillman also out after that targeting.
So he'll be out for the first half.
First half.
First half.
So, do you see Jaden Perlotti in there like he was this week? So, that's a freshman guy that's going to have to step into that spot for a significant amount of time at the first half at Alabama. So, about what you expected. Ethan Davis, again, questionable. So, we'll see if they can get into 12 personnel and all that stuff. But, pretty much everything that I expected to see.
Brett, any more comments from you on the injury report?
No, about when as normal as I think we could have expected. And, we'll see. Knock on wood. I know Staley went down for a brief minute last Saturday, and everybody was kind of holding their breath along with when Joey, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess he got the wind knocked out of him probably. But, I mean, you hopefully you stay healthy all day Saturday. You don't need any of that as thin as we are, especially at receiver.
Real quick on the YouTube chat, if you had that money in hand, would you risk hurting yourself again? Referring to Jeremiah McCoy. And I think that's a totally fair point. Obviously, we're not in that position and don't have to make that type of decision. But I will say, I think the more he's out, the more opportunity for other guys across the country to kind of move up the ladder and possibly take that day one spot. I'm not saying McCoy is going to drop out of the first round. I think he'll still be a first-round grade, despite if he plays this season or not. But when we saw guys last year, like a Will Johnson, he was banged up throughout the season, tried to play, was kind of in and out. He ended up dropping to a second round. So, and he wasn't particularly bad, but, just was in and out of the lineup, didn't get the opportunity to showcase what he did in the prior season where he was really, really good. So, obviously don't want him to risk a long-term future, and that's what the training staff aligns with as well. But I, would love to see him out there because he is that good of a player, and it would significantly benefit Tennessee. Yesterday, we didn't get to talk about this, but I wanted to bring it up today. Third down has been really big for Tennessee in a negative way defensively. And Alabama has also kind of struggled with it. Alabama's defense on third downs are allowing a 37.5% conversion rate that is one of the worst in the SEC. In fact, Tennessee is 3 spots ahead of them nationally, and we know that's been an issue for the Vols throughout the season. So with Tennessee also struggling on money downs, I call them money downs because that's where you make your money, that's where you get off the field, that's where you have the opportunity to win football games. Do you feel like third down is going to dictate this one? And Alex, you mentioned a guy in Perlotti that I wanted to talk about for this because I think Perlotti should be on every third down the rest of the way. And it's no stray to Jeremiah Thielander. I think he's a really good run stopper on first and second down. But the speed you saw from Perlotti on Saturday on a couple of these plays where Taylon Green was rolling out of the pocket, trying to extend the drive, extend the play, Perlotti was shot out of a cannon. And he was zipping over, had a couple of big open field tackles. I like Perlotti a lot, and he's not playing like a freshman right now. I would throw him in on third down, and I'd say go make a play. So I think third down is going to be critical in this one because Alabama likes to have these long, methodical drives, and they do a great job of picking up yardage on first down and having a situation where they're ahead of the chains. But if Tennessee can get off the field and create opportunities for their offense to also sit on the football and control time of possession, I think you have to make the adjustments necessary defensively on third down. Jaden Perlotti would be that guy for me. I would love to see more of him because I think third down could very well dictate this one. Brett, would you agree?
Well, what do you want him to do? Like, are you wanting him to blitz? Because we haven't seen him in coverage.
I just like his speed. I like his speed, right?
Freshman out there on big downs seems a little worrisome.
And I totally agree. But Simpson,
because he's not going to get out of the pocket.
Simpson has shown a couple of instances of being a willing runner, but he much rather stay in the pocket. And I think over the last couple of weeks, the reason why Alabama's had more success is because he's been more structured and disciplined in the pocket. In that Florida State game, he kind of hit the panic button a little too early. We tried to run out and make a play. My thing is intermediate, right? Where you've got a lot of these crossing routes, short yardage stuff that is open for those quarterbacks to make a play. Obviously, you've got shots down the field, but the stuff in front, a 3rd and 6, you can pick up, a 5-yard, pass turns into possibly a gain of 10 or 12. Having a guy like Perlotti in that area, I like that speed. Thielander, I just don't think has that second gear in terms of chasing down these receivers. And I'm not saying Perlotti's going to catch up with Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard and company, but I'd rather have that speed than a guy that has shown me time and time again so far this season in Thielander that a little bit of a liability in those situations.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, he's going to get the Spillman minutes or the snaps or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'd be interested to see how he does in a big road game and things like that. Does he get lined up correctly? I mean, you almost could throw another safety out there, McMurray with Boo, and, load up that way as well, I guess, if you wanted to go that route. But it's going to be very interesting. It's crazy to think we've struggled so bad on that third and medium to long, considering how well we get after the passer.
Yeah.
Things like that. And, again, that goes back to a lot of short throws and then missed tackles.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we've done a good job of getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands, and that's all they're trying to do. And we're simply just not making tackles on the back end right now. Bad pursuits. whatever you have it, good play calls against us and things like that. And you're going against arguably the best team on third down, especially that third and long that we talked about. So it's going to be interesting to see how Banks plays it. Does he sit back or does he attack and things like that? So I'm very interested in Perlotti's going to have a role, and I'm sure they've spoken about it, and I think he'll be ready to go.
Alex, what about you?
Well, I think that's the good thing if you're Tennessee is you're going to get to see Perlotti anyway with Spillman being out. So, you're going to get a barometer for what he can do in those situations. I mean, Tennessee hasn't been able to stop third and long anyway this year. So I think a change on that front, you might as well give it a shot. I mean, I know it's, this is arguably your biggest road game of the year. So, I mean, it's a tough spot for Perlotti, but, he's going to be put in that situation anyway. But this game certainly is going to be, a third down kind of game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a situation late in the game. Alabama's going to be in a 3rd and 7, and Tennessee's going to need to stop in that spot.
Yeah.
No matter what the score is. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how Perlotti handles it. I mean, communication shouldn't be an issue considering you're on the road. There's not going to be a loud crowd presence like there would be at Neyland Stadium like there was this past week. So maybe that helps the true freshman. But no, I think it's going to be definitely something to watch for and, see how even when Spillman gets back in the game, if Tennessee's having success on those third down and longs, maybe you see Perlotti stick around a little bit.
Yeah. Let's now focus in on a couple of those players to watch for Alabama on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. We'll begin with Ty Simpson at quarterback. Simpson was perhaps the biggest question about Alabama entering the season. I did not rank them above certain teams because I was like, this is just a quarterback I don't know a whole lot about. He's been here for 4 years, but I haven't seen much of him. And I looked at it as a negative asset because he had opportunities even when Jalen Milroe was there. I mean, he had the opportunity in that South Florida game to come out and kind of showcase what he could do. And I know those were limited opportunities, but my thing was like, if he was this good and what people were talking about preseason, we probably would have seen that before. But I have been wrong ever since that Florida State game. I celebrated a little too early. I dropped the ball before I crossed the pylon as I was running into the end zone because he has been good. And he's thrown for 1,678 yards and 16 touchdowns, which leads the SEC, and just one interception. Simpson hasn't been a superstar, but he's been accurate throwing the football to a collection of talented receivers who we'll talk about here in just a second. And the West Tennessee native is one of the best passers between the numbers in the entire country. This is a guy that's going to make plays on Saturday. And the most lethal trait for me when watching him play is obviously he takes care of the football, which is something that you have to do if you're going to be able to compete in the SEC. But I just say his poise and how he lets the play develop, I think is his most lethal trait. A lot of quarterbacks sometimes get happy feet and try to make a play within 3 seconds of the snap going off. And I think you saw that against Florida State with Simpson. There were a lot of times where he kind of got panicked and decided to try to make something out of nothing, but he did have something there, but just didn't read it. I think over the last couple of weeks in these 3 top 25 matchups against SEC teams, he's been more comfortable. He's been more poised. He's waited for the action to come to him. And there have been a couple of instances that I've said, yeah, that was kind of a rookie mistake. I go back to that Vanderbilt game, and Alabama had marched down the field. He took a sack, a 10-yard sack on like the 15-yard line, and stuff like that puts you behind the chains, puts you in a bad situation. But I think he's continued to grow. And I'd say his comfortability and patience right now is one of the most lethal traits he possesses at this point in the season. Alex, when you watch him play, what is the most lethal trait in your eyes for Simpson? I
think it's got to be his accuracy for me. I mean, this is a guy who finished a game 17 for 17 passing. Now, it was against ULM.
Yeah.
But, in a college football game, it's hard. Any football game, it's hard to be perfect passing like he was in that game. And another game, I mean, against Wisconsin, he was 24 for 29. Now, that's a bad Wisconsin team. But, again, that's Division I Power 4 college football. That's a very difficult thing to do. So I think that's the big thing. And you match that up with, some of the inexperience in Tennessee's secondary and the tackling troubles that they had and kind of all the mountain of things that have been piling up all year. It feels like Ty Simpson's going to have a huge advantage in that spot. So I think for me, it's going to be that accuracy. And again, you look at the receivers, that's a heck of a toolbox to have to go to when you have that kind of accuracy. So I think he's going to have a good day on Saturday, especially when you give him some elite receivers like they have.
Brett, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the turnovers. I mean, Alabama, they're not explosive offense, so they got to score when they can. He runs the offense well. I think Grubb's done a great job with him. Alabama's known as the run game. It's been almost non-existent for him, especially with Jam Miller. So he's having to do it being almost a one-dimensional offense and bad offensive line play. Again, he's similar to Joey. He's calm and cool back there and doesn't get rattled by a lot of stuff. Even the bad performance for State. He still had 2 touchdowns, no picks. So, accuracy wise, he wasn't great in that day, but he's completing 72% of his passes on the season. So, again, speaking on y'all's, I mean, he's just been really good, arguably the best quarterback in the country. And, I don't see anything slowing him down this Saturday for sure.
Well, let's talk about those wide receivers. They're a big part of why this Alabama offense has been really solid over the last couple of weeks. That's Ryan Williams. That's Jeremy Bernard, who they call Unk on the roster because he's played a lot of college football. Isaiah Horton as well. It's hard to single out just one receiver out of this group. Ryan Williams, 12 catches, 336 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's the big name of this group because of what he did last year, but Jeremy Bernard has been the leader so far in the clubhouse in all the Alabama receiving statistics, 28 receptions, 412 yards, 5 touchdowns, by far the most productive receiver in terms of his reliability. And you can't forget about Isaiah Horton. I really like this kid, a Miami transfer, Middle Tennessee native. I believe he's from the Nashville area. And he's got 21 receptions for 270 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's the third weapon in this group, but kind of like Tennessee, they're all pretty good. Chris Brazzell, Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley. I feel like in terms of the starting group at receiver, Tennessee and Alabama both have some really strong ones, and this Crimson Tide group has been one of the best receiving corps in the SEC. I say the best because of the depth. I think Mario Craver, Casey Concepcion arguably are the best in the SEC. Craver right now the leader and passing yards. Excuse me, I guess receiving yards, I should say. Yeah, he's not throwing the football. Receiving yards in the SEC. And then Casey Concepcion just down the list. But Tennessee has 3 guys in the top 10 in the SEC. I'd say really this is probably the 2 most consistent, most productive SEC receiving trios in the conference. And both defenses are going to have, their hands full on Saturday. But I think Alabama's just a slight bit better. I think Bernard has more experience and he's more reliable. And you've seen, Staley and Matthews have a couple of drops and bad moments, more so that Mississippi State game. They were better last weekend, but I would give the nod to Alabama just slightly right now, even though I think Ryan Williams is a little bit overrated. But nonetheless, 2 really good receiving corps, and Alabama's right up there in the SEC. Brett, what do you make of the Tide's pass catchers?
Yeah, really good. I was hoping we'd get Horton this offseason personally.
Yeah.
Just going into the season, I wish we had gotten a lot of guys, but now you don't, maybe for depth pieces, but you're surprised at how productive our 3 have been. Like you said, all 3 in the top 10. The SEC, you go one step further. Brooks, freshman, I believe, as well in Alabama, made a big catch against Missouri. So he's another guy you kind of have to worry about. But just those first 3, yeah, they're really good. I can't tell you which one I think's better. I think they all provide. They're similar guys. I feel like on both teams, they could all do a job for both teams. And yeah, I'd give the slight edge just for Ryan Williams. He can explode at any time for me. And watching him against Georgia last year, you saw that. So I'll give Alabama the slightest of edges.
Alex, what about you?
Yeah, obviously Ryan Williams has kind of felt like that sleeping giant so far, and I think it would be so fitting for him to just explode with a huge day that like we've been talking about on Saturday. But, it's going to be a tough task for Willie Martinez's guys back there. But you know what? I really think Tennessee's trio has shown a lot. I mean, they've shown so much this year, and I think last Saturday was a very important step for that room because you have a guy like Brazzell, only 1 reception. He's been, your lead receiver this year. And then a guy like Braylon Staley steps up and has a career day. So I think that's for that receiving room. That's an important aspect that they needed to see. It can't be the Brazzell show. Now all 3 have contributed in a big way, but I think Staley needed to have his moment like he did this past week. And maybe Mike Matthews will emerge here in the next few weeks. Maybe it could be this week. But I think Tennessee's trio, although below them there's not much to be excited about, but I think those three guys, if they all, can perform to, the top of their ability, I think they have the talents to be better than what Alabama's got. Now, if one of them goes down, Tennessee's in big trouble. But, I think, what you saw last week from Staley and obviously the consistent stuff that you've seen from Brazel so far has been encouraging.
We'll head to the YouTube chat real quick. Magic 8 Vol. I love that. That's a great name, Magic 8 Vol. He says, Simpson's greatest strength is his ability to extend plays and make plays. This is also his biggest weakness, in my opinion. He holds the ball and takes sacks as well. Feast or famine. He's not as elusive as Taylon Green, so we can get to him. I think that pass rush will be big. Creating turnovers will be big, but can the secondary hold their end of the bargain and allow for that time to allow for the defensive backs, or excuse me, the defensive ends and linebackers to get into the backfield? I think is a big question. But Simpson has been great. He's not unbeatable, and no team in college football is unbeatable, as we see week in and week out. Tennessee will have their opportunities, but you're going to have to do a lot of things right, and that starts with containing those wide receivers and Ty Simpson on Saturday. We'll talk more about those defensive players here in a little bit. We're going to come back and talk about what Greg McElroy had to say about Joey Aguilar. McElroy's calling the game on Saturday, by the way, and he said he's not the biggest fan of Joey Spirals to this point in the season. We'll break that down when we return right here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
Take Fan Run Radio with you on the all-new Fan Run app. Just search for Fan Run Radio wherever you download your apps.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 865-544-8220. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at menspronknoxville.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor. But we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, performance, Peyronie's, size and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic performance and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 865-544-8220. Or book in 30 seconds or less at menspronknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that?
Cool, I'll just order them online.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered.
Hold up. That's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay?
I mean, it seems pretty convenient.
Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics.
Okay, how do you pronounce it?
SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
What's the name again? SM Athletics.
Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products.
Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Tired of waiting for the weekend or good weather to play around? From casual to committed, Back 9 Golf has got you covered. Open to the public and offering flexible membership opportunities, they offer 24/7 access to 5 different simulators, providing cutting-edge technology, instant swing feedback, fun mini-games, and a wide variety of courses to choose from. Perfect for that solo round you want after work, or swing by with food and drinks for an afternoon with friends and family. No stressful tee times, no rain delays. It's Back 9 Golf your way. Book your tee time now at theback9golf.com.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the volunteer state. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
All right, marching along on this Thursday from K-Town. We appreciate you listening along with us. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play on the Fan Run Radio app, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM here in K-Town on the local dial or on the X/YouTube live stream. However you're listening or watching, we do appreciate your time. Okay, let's switch over to former Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy. He's going to be on the call for ABC on Saturday, along with Sean McDonough for the matchup between the Crimson Tide and Volunteers. And I will say they do a good job on the broadcast. I'm a big fan of Sean McDonough. I think McElroy is a smart guy and gives good analysis. But while previewing the matchup between Tennessee and Alabama, McElroy said this on his show. I think it's McElroy and Kublik in the morning is the show he does on Wednesday. The former Crimson Tide quarterback said that he's not the biggest fan of Vols quarterback Joey Aguilar. This is the full quote, folks. Quote, "I'm not the biggest fan of Joey Aguilar, but I've liked what I've seen. I think he's done a good job. He's not a real threat as a runner, which does make things a little bit easier." So I kind of have a hard time with this one because it's like, I'm not the biggest fan of Joey. He's like, but then he's like, I've liked what I've seen so far. I think he's done a good enough job. So it kind of seems like,
yeah,
it's really weird.
I don't know. It's kind of like you shook his hand and then you pull it out and you're like, oh, he's spitting it. And it's like,
and we don't need him to be a runner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know.
Did he give any other, is this the only, I haven't seen the clip.
Quote?
Did he give any other input on why he doesn't like him?
So it was kind of brief. I mean, they're doing, talking about Tennessee and Alabama, and they're talking about Tennessee's offense. And, they just mentioned Joey Aguilar. Obviously, like, even if you go listen to On 3 and stuff like that. And again, I don't watch these. I don't like watching other people's opinion. I like to form my own. But I'll pick up, through reading of like, what, Ari Wasserman at On 3 had to say, or Josh Pate had to say. I'll see what they say about these games to see if I'm on the same page with it. But in this instance, they're doing the breakdown. They mentioned Joey. They're talking about the offense, and I just don't know how you can't be the biggest fan of a guy that's leading the SEC in passing yards. The other thing I noticed too, Joey Aguilar, out of all starting SEC quarterbacks, has the least amount of sacks taken. I think sacks are a quarterback stat in my eyes, because that means you're getting rid of the football at an appropriate time and you're not hanging. Like, there are obviously some really bad offensive lines. South Carolina has been horrible, and Lenora Sellers is driving him crazy. But if your offensive line is bad, you've got to make a quick decision. So my thing with like Joey is, I think he's made a lot of great decisions this year. And the interceptions, if you go back and look at him, he's really only thrown 2. Like, the other ones have been tipped up in the air, 50-50 balls. Like, one of them, that one against UAB, about, hit the what's it called?
Fly roll.
Yeah, if a flyover was coming in, it would have bounced off one of the jets. Yeah. Like, that's how high it went up in the air. So what I make of McElroy's comments here are like, I can maybe see where he's coming from and saying he's not a runner. And if that's his big thing, and that's why
he just came off his best running game.
Yeah, just had 50,
like he 60 or whatever.
59
legs.
59 yards against Arkansas on Saturday. But he's also, I think, in short yardage packages, especially in the red zone, he is a willing runner. Like, he is a runner.
Yeah,
he's running a number. He had the one against Mississippi State.
He had one on Arkansas, didn't he?
I don't think he didn't have a rushing touchdown against Arkansas, but he did have one against Georgia. That was that first drive of the game. He waltzed his way in. In a game-clinching moment, he used his legs against Mississippi State. So I think there's a difference between, like, being a real threat. Like, a real threat's Taylon Green, right? Or a Bo Perbula. Like, those are dual-threat guys. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being a willing runner. I don't think Ty Simpson's a real threat as a runner, but He's a willing runner. You can't allow him to run out of the pocket and pick up yards. That Florida State game, he said, I don't care if I get CTE. I'm going to put my head down. So I just think that this is a little bit of a skewed comment here. And, a lot of people are online saying, well, how the hell is he calling the game if he's making these type of comments the week of? But I just think there's a difference between a real threat and a willing runner. What do you guys make of the comment? And then where do you stand on the real threat as a runner versus like a willing runner, a guy that's, willing to put his head down in some certain instances? Brett?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought it was going to be more to the quote, honestly. I didn't see it at all. So, I mean, it is a weird quote for sure. I think he just picks the right times to run. I mean, part of our offense is an RPO, so he's got to read the end and crashes down, then he takes off, and he's done a very good job outside of the Georgia game when he got blasted. That one time by CJ Allen, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So worries you a little bit when a quarterback does take the hit. So, which he's avoided for the most part. So I think he's a willing runner when he needs to be in key moments and things like that. And I think there's going to be times on Saturday where he probably is going to have to put the ball down, because I do think this is going to be the toughest defense we play. There's going to be harder to get throws. The windows are going to be tighter, things like that. So he might have to run for a couple first downs, things like that, keep him honest. So, it's definitely weird comments, but, I think Joey's going to be fine on Saturday, and he's made the right plays all through the season so far. So I'm going to trust him and what he sees and what he does with his legs too. So I think he's going to be fine.
It's a really odd dig for me, because I think back to this past weekend against Arkansas. He comes out of the game and got the wind knocked out of him. And then the next play that he's back in there, he runs it to the right.
Yeah.
He takes a pretty big hit. So it's like, I understand, he's not Lamar Jackson, but we've seen he's got the will to run. And, that's the most important thing, in my opinion, when it comes to this. And the other thing, Tennessee's offensive line has been really good this year. And it's a cause for him not to have to run. So I think that's a testament to the offensive line. But no, I think when he's shown that he absolutely has to, he can be effective there. And we saw it on Saturday. And another thing, I mean, Joey's a guy that has had a massive improvement in the interception department. He led the country last year. So, saying, "Oh, I don't really like Joey Aguilar," it's just very odd to me. And I'm not a guy that's normally very strongly opinionated on when, certain analysts give their opinion on stuff, because I think everybody's, entitled to their own thing, especially a former quarterback in McElroy. But it is very weird the week of this game that he's calling that, he would kind of give a quote like that without any real basis. It's just very interesting.
Yeah, you talk about his performance last year at Appalachian State, where he had a lot of interceptions, and that was the big talk of the town heading into the season. There were a lot of non-Joey believers, whether they're repping the Joey Spiral shirts now or Swagular shirts now. Those are probably the same people in June and July saying, "Oh, this guy threw 14 interceptions. It's going to be a disaster. How is he going to go from App State to the SEC?" And my big argument was like, folks, look, we've had a lot of quarterbacks come in here that were not very good at their prior spot. You want to talk about Joe Milton, what he looked like in 2021 again with Michigan? A disaster. He was, 2020, I should say. He was a disaster. He had like a 9-8 touchdown interception ratio. And he came into Tennessee, and you ended up being a team that competed in the SEC. Hendon Hooker was benched at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's been terrible for years. He got benched there. He was an afterthought. And then he ends up being fifth in the Heisman race. Like, Josh Heupel has a great system, and it's very quarterback friendly. You put these guys in situations where you lay out the blueprint for them, you give them the reads, and you say, this is what we're doing. There's not a whole lot of off-script stuff. And sometimes that can trip Tennessee up when you have those quarterbacks that are really, really good off the script. But, I mean, even last year, Nico Iamaleava wasn't that great of a quarterback. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have a bright future or doesn't have a high upside or any of that. But last season, he was kind of raw. Kind of ran the same type of things over and over again. You liked what he did with his legs, but he was obviously very limited down the field. And Tennessee was in the college football playoff last year. So my thing was like, let's calm down about what Joey Aguilar did at Appalachian State. He's about to come into a totally different system where he's not going to be playing backyard football on Thursday nights against Jacksonville State. It's going to be a situation where you're structured and have reads and all of that. So I haven't been surprised with the type of, kind of progression we've seen from Joey. And the interception numbers are reflective of the type of system that you come into with Josh Heupel. So, look, he's going to be tested on Saturday. We know that. And one guy I want to mention in particular is Bray Hubbard, a safety. Hubbard is Alabama's highest graded defender, according to PFF, and has been a playmaker on the back end of the Crimson Tide defense throughout the season. 24 total tackles, 3 interceptions, 4 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble to this point this season. And he's been able to make plays both in the run game and has been elite in pass coverage. I wish we could borrow him for Saturday at safety. But are you concerned about Joey facing this secondary? This is going to be the tallest task he's faced. Georgia is not the same defense of old, and we figured that out pretty early on in that one. And, you mentioned the interception issues last season, but we haven't really seen that be a problem this year. Are you concerned that that's going to be an issue Saturday where start going up against some good DBs and experienced DBs? Bray Hubbard's not the only one. I mean, Damani Jackson's played a ton of football, even though he forgot where he was on the field on Saturday against Missouri. These are some really, really good players. So I'm not concerned right now about it, but I am a little concerned if you get behind in this one, what type of throws you have to make. And then Alabama has a little bit of an advantage in terms of how they're playing their coverage of, okay, Tennessee's down 10 points and we're in the middle of the third quarter. We know what they're going to have to do, and that's get those chunk explosive plays down the field. So that would be the situation I'm concerned about. But Tennessee has the opportunity to limit that if they're able to hold the time of possession in the first half, have good drives, end in 7 and not 3. That would be the ideal situation for me, but I do have concern if things get a little out of hand in that second half, what you have to do. Alex, begin with you. Are you concerned about Joey facing the secondary?
I don't think I am, and I don't think we've seen him put the ball in too much danger so far. I mean, you mentioned Georgia not being what they usually are. It's still Georgia, and I think they have great athletes there, and especially in that secondary, it's always usually an elite unit. And I think he took care of the ball well against them. I mean, he had a few long touchdown passes to Brazel against the Bulldogs. So I don't think there's any reason to be concerned right now. Now, like you said, if they get into a situation where late in the game trailing, you've got to throw the ball deep. Maybe that becomes a concern. But again, if Tennessee can establish the run, Alabama has a worse run defense than Tennessee, believe it or not. So if they get that rolling, take some of the pressure off of Joey and those receivers, I don't think there's any real reason to be concerned. And obviously, if you turn the ball over in this game anyway, you're going to end up losing. So, I think right now he's took care of the ball enough for my liking to not have a big worry.
Brett, what about you?
This is key to the game. If we can't pass the ball, in the secondary, I'm very intrigued by this because they're third best in the country in pass defense. Is that product of who they've played, or are they just really that good? So it's a very interesting thing you're going to see on Saturday between these two teams, and that secondary is really, really good. And it's going to be the toughest for our wide receivers, I believe, as well. I think you've played the bottom feeders in the conference as far as defense goes between Mississippi State, Arkansas, and Georgia's not what they were. So it's not been the hardest to complete throws. I don't know if you can get away with some of these 50-50s that you have. So this, to me, outside of, because I think you're going to have to score. And if you're not completing passes, staying on the field, scoring points, and you are struggling, it's going to be a long day. And that worries me a little bit as we sit here today that, it's going to be tough sledding for our offense.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, it's our Best Bets Look Ahead presented by VIP Play. Tomorrow is Friday, which means we solidify our picks. And, folks, this might be my biggest card of the 2025 season. That could be scary or that could be good. We'll talk about it when we return right here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
You're listening to Fan Run Radio, the sports humans.
Hey, football fans, this is Stats.
And this is the Sheik. And together we are the Cover Boys. We cover college football like no one else.
Each week we preview all the big games in college football. And we may not tell you who's going to win, but we'll tell you who's going to cover.
Our patented right sides are clicking at 66% against the spread all time.
So join us right here every Friday evening at 8 for the Cover Boys on the official voice of Tennessee fans, Fan Run Radio.
And enjoy the winners, everyone.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Dick's House of Sport at West Town Mall is a destination devoted to sport, and it's your destination for exclusive events and experiences. Come visit a store like no other. Check out our 40-foot rock wall, golf performance center, Hit Tracks batting cage, and outdoor turf field. You can now rent our space for private events and birthday parties. Learn more about our events and exclusive product launches on Facebook and Instagram at Dick's House of Sport KNX. Dick's House of Sport, proud partner of Tennessee Athletics.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Merritt Garage Doors and Services has been serving the East Tennessee community since 1963. At Merritt, quite simply, the customer comes first. Their door specialists will not try to needlessly upsell you because they are not commission-based like other places. This allows them to focus on your needs and not their pockets. They offer a range of beautiful garage doors in a variety of styles to suit the architecture of your home, and they will supply and install a wide range of garage door openers and accessories to take your garage door to the next level. To request a quote or schedule a service repair call, visit merrittgaragedoor.com.
Citizens National Bank. Are you getting penalized because you can't make it to your bank on time? No need for unnecessary roughness. It's time for a new game plan. Easily manage your accounts with Citizens National Bank's mobile banking app. Check your balance, deposit a check, and pay a bill all from your phone with CNB's mobile banking.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Are you tired of spending hours on laundry and ironing? Let Crown Cleaners handle your dry cleaning so you can handle your business. Our expert team can take care of your clothes, removing stains and wrinkles like they were never there. Whether it's your best suit or everyday attire, we handle it all at Crown Cleaners. Say goodbye to laundry stress and hello to extra free time. Crown Cleaners, Big Orange Country's imperial dry cleaning service since the 1960s. Online at crowncleaners.com.
All right, back here on the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this Thursday from K-Town. Now time for our best bets look ahead presented by VIP Play. Folks, week 8 of college football is somehow already here. And if you have somehow not downloaded the VIP Play app, that is on you. That is not a game-winning play. I'll put it that way. Go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus, and when you make your first bet of $20 or more, you'll get $100 instantly in bonus bets from your friends right here at Fan Run. Code is Fan Run in all caps to claim those bonus bets, and if you want to take Tennessee up against the Tide, if you want to bet on the rest of college football, if you want to hear some of these sides I'm about to give and put some money on that, do that on the VIP Play app. It's the best way to get involved in the action if you're in Tennessee. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. All right, a lot of plays this weekend that I'm looking at. We'll begin with the one that all eyes in Knoxville will be on, and that is Tennessee and Alabama. As I said earlier in the week, I love Tennessee. I have confidence in them. I love talking about them, but Alabama minus 8.5 will be a system play for me in a rank versus rank matchup with the home team favored by 3 points or more. So I look at Alabama minus the 8.5 right now. I like Duke minus 1.5 on Saturday at 12 o'clock up against Georgia Tech. That was my upset pick yesterday. I like Darian Mensah a lot. If the Blue Devils don't turn the football over, I think they get a signature win for Manny Diaz and company at home. Next up, I'm still eyeing LSU and Vanderbilt. The Commodores minus 2.5 at home. This is a rank versus rank matchup, but we're not over that key number of 3. But I still might have to take Diego Pavia and the Dogs in this one. I've not been impressed with LSU's offense, and Vanderbilt can put up some points. So I look at that one as well. Ole Miss, Georgia. This line has not moved throughout the week. We're still staying strong at 7.5. I like the Bulldogs in this one. A big spot for Kirby Smart and company. A couple of really disappointing results over the last couple of weeks. Really, they should have lost a couple of these games. They very well could have 3 losses right now heading in to week 8. But I think
teams.
Huh?
You say Georgia, Ole Miss.
Georgia.
Yeah, Ole Miss hasn't said they.
And Ole Miss has had a couple of narrow ones to do. We'll talk those in our buy or sell here in a little bit. But right now, I take the Dogs in a rank versus rank matchup minus the 7.5 with the number over 3. Then we'll move on to later in the day. Notre Dame. We get another solid number here at 9.5. You're getting less than 10 points here. I think that Notre Dame's going to run the football a lot in this one. Some impending weather issues. Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love, sign me up. Though I do like USC as a football team, I have to take this number of Notre Dame, who's been playing some damn good football over the last couple of weeks. Brett's favorite pick of mine this week is going to be Auburn plus 1.5. Do or die spot for the Tigers. I think Missouri is a really good team, but they run the ball with a lot of efficiency. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that up against this Auburn defense with guys like Keldrick Falk. I would take this. I would love this play if Deuce Knight would trot out and the crowd would erupt and everyone would go crazy. But right now, I still lean with that Auburn plus 1.5. Finally, we'll wrap it up with Utah minus the 3.5. And I like the Utes in this one. BYU, I think, is a little bit overrated. And I kind of died on this hill last year. I faded BYU in like 4 different games, and all of them lost outright. But I think Utah is the better team, and I really like Devin Dampier. I think what happened against Texas Tech was just running into a buzzsaw. So give me Utah on this one. Obviously, folks, these are not official picks at the moment. These are my best bets look ahead. These are the sides I'm leaning. But if these lines don't move, we could have a massive card on Saturday. Now, tonight's action, Tulsa and ECU. I don't have a side at the moment. The Pirates love playing on Thursday night. I've watched 4 ECU games this season.
Crazy.
I am a sicko. But I'll be watching this game over Thursday Night Football tonight, whatever you want to make of that. But I don't know. I'll probably have a play for it just because I want to have something to watch when I'm on the treadmill. So I'll put those picks out later if I do have one. But again, folks, you can't force bets in college football. You can't force bets in general. So I might not have a side here, but I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on what this ECU team is. Very good in the red zone, by the way. One of the best red zone defenses in college football do the Pirates have. Also, make sure to tune into the Cover Boys right now on the Fan Run SoundCloud page. You can get some of these sides early from the Sheik, and he'll also join the drive tomorrow to talk about it, and we'll also stream it live on Fan Run Radio Friday night. The Sheik does a great job. Haji. And I think we're doing a little spaces tonight, too, to talk some college football and NFL wagering. So join us later tonight on that.
Are you
as well.
sprinkling anything on the NFL tonight?
No, I don't. I retired from NFL after last year. Yeah.
Okay.
After 3 years of losing money every Sunday, after big days on Saturday, I had to hang it up.
I got you. Just giving all your money back on Sundays?
Yeah, it's tough, man. I look at my
NFL's hard.
I look at my splits and I'm like, well, crap, man. I'm up, 25 units in college football over the last, 2 years. And I'm like, well, where's that in my wallet? And I go look at my NFL side, and it's like, oh,
there it is.
Down 27 units on that one. It's just hard. It's so sharp, man. I was really good at NFL 3 years ago, but I didn't give out picks every weekend for it. I just kind of pick a couple of spots, and everyone's like, wait, we want picks from you. So I'd start rolling out these 5-play slates, and by Thursday or Sunday Night Football, I'm having to call the hotline like hell. So anyway, that'll wrap it up for our best bets look ahead. Gambling problem, 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 years or older and located in Tennessee to bet. When we come back, it's our favorite segment on Thursdays, our college football buy or sell, in addition to tonight's unction going down in the NFL, the Steelers and Bengals. We'll talk about it when we return right here on the Playbook, presented by VIP Play on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee football. Fans, Fan Run Radio.
Today, we raise a glass of Jameson Irish whiskey to the sport of football. Hear, hear!
To Gaelic football, Born in Ireland in 1885 in its thrilling blend of soccer, rugby, and basketball. On a massive field, 15 players kick or hand pass a round ball to score points over a bar or into a net. No pads, no helmet, no sense.
Hear, hear! To college football, which kicked off in 1869 when Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the Battle of New Jersey. With 11 players and helmets and pads, teams battle on a 100-yard gridiron with explosive pass plays and hard-hitting tackles. Unless you're called for targeting.
Hear, hear! Since 1780, Jameson Irish whiskey has been enjoyed by sports fans all around the globe. Whether your football is Gaelic, American, or even soccer, we can all agree on super smooth Jameson Irish whiskey.
Hear, hear!
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court-martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. Come on, grab a pack. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavor. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Here we go. Hour number 2 on a Thursday, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook, presented by VIP Play. Brett Hullander, Alex Sarkis joining you. I'm William Pattison. Great stuff in hour number 1. We'll continue it here in hour number 2 as we do our Week 8 college football. Buy or sell, as we always do on Thursdays. And a little bit later on, we'll talk about Thursday night football, a big-time battle between some aging quarterbacks and Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, a combined age of 81 between the two gunslingers.
Is that the oldest one?
Gotta be. I mean, I don't.
Unless Brady played somebody that was 30-something. Oh, no, even that's not even 80.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy.
That'd be interesting to look up.
Yeah.
Maybe if you guys find some free time,
We'll get behind that.
Yeah. Okay. The oldest quarterback matchup by age. That'd be something fun to look up. Real quick before we get into our first topic of the second hour, want to remind everyone out there to enter in the Fan Run Box giveaway. What's in the box, you might ask, William? Well, I can't tell you what's in the box, but I will say there are thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars inside that box worth of prizes that we're giving away to our fans, our supporters here at Fan Run Radio. And I promise you, it's not going to be something like, the what's in the box phrase comes from that movie Seven. I don't know if you ever watched. Yeah,
I saw it for the first time a few weeks ago.
Really? Isn't that good? Yeah. Oh. And I promise it will be a better surprise than what is in that box. This will be a good surprise. But join us at Calhoun's on Friday, October 31st. It's Halloween. All treats, no tricks when we do our live show for that one, because we'll be giving away prizes from the box and we'll select a winner. So join us at Calhoun's. We'll be doing our shows remotely there, and should be a great, great time and an opportunity to kick off the Oklahoma weekend the right way. And hopefully, if everything goes well against Kentucky in that big-time matchup that Brett loves to talk about, that will be a college football playoff elimination game very well, depending on what happens this weekend too. But should be a great time. So join us out there. Continue to follow our social media handles on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Just be a Fan Run fan, and you'll get entries by keeping up with a lot of different posts we do, and tag a couple of friends, like this, like that. You'll get entries. We got people working hard to make sure we get all those names down. So enter the Fan Run Box giveaway, and we'll announce that on Friday, October 31st at Calhoun's on the River. Should be a great time. Really looking forward to that. All right, let's get into it. Our college football
real quick, I got your answer.
I had it too.
Okay, boom, go. Let's go.
You give it, Brett. Go ahead.
Breeze and Brady were the oldest, 85.
85. When was that?
2020. November 8th, 2020.
Wow, 85.
I see what 80. Yeah, January 7th. I also see there's like six times.
They played 3 times in 2020. I think.
Yeah, 2020. There's one from January 17th, 2021. 85 years, 172 days.
Rodgers and Flacco. It's only the second time that 2 quarterbacks over 40 will play each other. So,
do you have the other matchup? I hate to work y'all on this one, but
it's
okay. Brazen Brady.
Favre and Vinny Testaverde, 82 years. Vinny Testaverde, Kurt Warner, Elway, Warren Moon.
Interesting.
Testaverde, Trent Dilfer, Testaverde's, and a lot of these. Steve DeBerg, whoever that is. Phil Simms, DeBerg, yeah. Brad Johnson, Jeff Garcia. And the last one I saw was Warner and Favre in 09.
Good work right there by the. That's good work.
Good work, Brett.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you, Sporting News.
Yeah. Tip of the cap there. All right, real quick, YouTube chat. Don't you think it's crazy how Greg talks highly of Ty Simpson, but expletive on Joey Aguilar, but the two are literally almost the same? Joey has the offense operating and running better than Nico did. I think both are really good quarterbacks. You'll see that Saturday. 2 really good passing attacks with really talented wide receiving cores.
He could have left off that part with Nico.
Huh? Yeah.
That's a low ceiling for Joey there.
Yeah.
But I understand what he's getting at.
Yeah. Yeah. But, it's Greg McElroy's opinion. It is what it is. I think he just watches Alabama a little bit closer. And he's got a lot of football to watch too. He's covering these games. So we dissect Tennessee every week, right? So
yeah.
I think Joey's been really good. I think he's exceeded expectations. I think Ty Simpson has as well. So
absolutely.
I would agree with what Jordan Hicks had to say in the YouTube chat. We appreciate you for using that. All right. Buy or sell. Let's get into it. Buy or sell. Georgia is a top 10 team. Now, Auburn's complete and utter meltdown shouldn't distract from the fact that Georgia averaged 4.3 yards per play in the win. SEC teams who average under 4.5 yards per play in conference games since the start of the 2021 season have won those contests just 18.5% of the time. So what Georgia did on Saturday was unfamiliar territory for those that have been in that spot before. Right now, I buy that they are because of all the chaos we've had over the last couple of weeks, and I rank them in the top 10. But I sell in terms of the power rankings that they're a top 10 team. So you might be saying, William, what the hell does that mean? Well, in terms of like resume and win-loss, like they're 5-1. They've got a good win over Tennessee on the road in a rocking environment, found a way to win. But I've not been impressed in a lot of games outside of that one. I mean, Kentucky, are we going to give them a pat on the back for that? I think anyone's, well, in seriousness, we're not. Auburn last week should have beat them. I mean, this is a 2-loss team right now, and really you could say should be a 3-loss team. So I don't like the way that Georgia's doing it, and in terms of power, I don't think they're a top 10 team. I think you could get behind a couple of teams that are still unbeaten or have one loss that have, like, I think if you line Georgia and Tennessee up again right now, I think that's a back and forth game once again. Like, I think you could say Tennessee is a top 10 level team in the country. So I buy that they're a top 10 team because of what their schedule is and because of what their resume says, but I sell that they're a top 10 power right now. Even if they make the college football playoff, like I don't think this is a team that's running the table. I don't think this is a championship team for Georgia. I'll say that. Yeah. So I know I kind of played both sides there, but I haven't been impressed with what I've seen. Maybe they flip the script this weekend. And Ole Miss might be a little overrated as well as we see what LSU has looked like. But I think defensively the Tigers are still good. But Georgia has the opportunity this weekend to make a statement and say we're a good football team. If they lose to Ole Miss, I mean, this could be a 4-loss team. They got to play Texas still, and they got to play the rest of the SEC schedule. With the way the way they played against Auburn, and Auburn has 0 SEC wins on the season, and Jackson Arnold at quarterback. And it took a fire drill for the Bulldogs to win that one. Buy or sell, Brett, Georgia top 10 team?
I had the same answer you did. I mean, they're a top 10 right now, but I think overall they're skating by. They took a missed field goal from us. The refs helped them out against Auburn, like you said. Auburn probably does win that game, but they were also right there with Georgia or Alabama. They probably could have won that one as well. So their schedule's not as manageable as well. So I think they're going to be there in the end, honestly. I mean, they get Texas at home, but Mississippi State, it's on the road. Florida's a dumpster fire. And they get Georgia Tech rivalry, but that's sounds like it's going to be a neutral site game.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're going to Bobby Dodd Stadium. And we saw what that game was last year. So, yeah, I mean, I'm the same as you right now, yes. But overall, I don't think they're a top 10 team in the country.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, same opinion. I mean, they're middle of the pack offensively, and, Kirby Smart's obviously one of the best coaches in the country, but I agree. I don't think they're a championship caliber team this year. Maybe even in terms of the SEC. We'll see what happens down the road here. But, I don't think they're championship worthy like they have been these past few years.
Buy or sell, Penn State's next coach will have more success than James Franklin. I'm going to sell this right now. The Nittany Lions have won 69% of their conference games since the start of the 2016 season, and the only programs above Penn State in that regard are Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan, and Oklahoma. I don't think Curt Cignetti is going to land at Penn State at this point because as we were talking about it yesterday, Indiana is going to be in the college football playoff. Curt Cignetti's not punting that season to go take the job at Penn State and recruit that group early. So I think right now, early on, I don't think Penn State will have as much success. And I think Penn State is propped up as this winning team right now because of what James Franklin did to that program. Even though they couldn't win the big one, they were always in the conversation and the hunt. I don't think they're going to have the roster next year to do that, whoever takes over at coach, unless they get a guy that doesn't make the playoff and they get things rolling right away. I just don't think James Franklin might not know X's and O's as good as some of the other coaches, but he could recruit, and he pumped out NFL talent year in and year out on the offensive line, defensive line, the secondary, the running backs. quarterback hasn't been great for him, but I think it's going to be hard right away to have as much success as James Franklin. So right now I sell that the next coach will be more successful than Franklin. Alex, what do you say?
I agree. I'm going to sell on this as well. I mean, I kind of think of it in this way. Is Penn State going to be within an interception of the national championship game again under their new head coach? I don't think so. Obviously, like you mentioned, how Franklin really took that program from the ashes and brought them to really national championship contention, and they were always in the hunt, always at the top of the Big Ten. I don't think, depending whoever their guy is, I think it's going to be very difficult to have that kind of success. And unfortunately, I think maybe winning the big one is still going to be the bugaboo of Penn State in the future.
Brett.
I'm buying this. I think with the amount of money they got, kids will play anywhere for money. I think you can go buy yourself a roster. I mean, in 1 year. I mean, we talk about Signetti. Look what he did at Indiana in 1 year. Right? They went to the playoff.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to step in there. They're going to get the backing of a lot of money, and they're going to be successful. The schedule's super weak next year. You avoid Ohio State. You avoid Oregon. You got 10 wins right there. I think you're going to find the players, depending on the coach. He might bring players in with him from his current roster. I think this is it's going to continue to roll. And I think they're going to eventually, especially if they get the right guy in there, an offensive guy, I think is what they need to excite the fans and things like that. Yeah, I don't see Penn State going anywhere personally.
Yeah, the YouTube chat agrees. They say, sell. Franklin couldn't win against top 10 teams. It will take a Big Ten style coach to get it done. All right, we'll now move to the SEC. Once again, buy or sell. Missouri is still an SEC contender despite the loss to Alabama. Now, I'm going to buy this because against Alabama, the Tigers outgained outgained Alabama, I should say, and yards per play with 5.9 to 4.3, but fell victim to turnovers in 1 of 10 on third down. I think Ahmad Hardy is really, really good. And I think he's one of the best running backs in the country. I think Bo Pribula is one of the strongest quarterbacks in the SEC. And I think Eli Drinkwitz is a guy that can have a really, really dynamic offense night in and night out. I thought they played Alabama really well. And I know I kind of lean right now Auburn plus the 1.5, and that would obviously go against this take. But I'm going to buy that Missouri is still an SEC contender because I do think they have the willpower to do it. So I'm going to buy this at the moment. I was impressed with what they did against Alabama. I know they came up short, but they very well could have won that game if Bo Pribula looks on the left side of the field and locates a wide open receiver. That would have been a touchdown maybe. I mean, talk about some chaos. So I'm going to buy that right now. Brett, would you buy or sell that Missouri is still an SEC contender?
I'm going to buy it just because of their schedule. I don't think they are overall. I think they've benefited from the start, 6 straight games at home.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they still get their hardest game at home with A&M coming there. I still don't buy Pribula as a passer. I mean, he struggled mightily. And like you said, he didn't see the field to see a wide open guy.
Mm-hmm.
And a crucial play, he's going to have to eventually start making throws. Because teams like Alabama, like you saw, they're just going to pack it in. And they're going to force him to throw the ball. And until I see that consistently, then I've got to hold him back just a little bit. But, I mean, they're going to be there just because of the schedule. And, again, that's what all this is mainly about. But, yeah, I mean, I'll buy them just strictly based on a schedule basis alone.
Okay. Buy or sell out.
Yeah, and I second exactly what Brett just said about their schedule. I mean, really, really good going forward just with having A&M at home. And then, I guess your other toughest game after that is Oklahoma on the road. So, I agree with Bo and his, difficulties he's had with throwing the ball, but I think he could be an X factor for them. And I think he has been. That's the reason they're where they're at right now.
Okay.
So I think he can, if he keeps going along with their defense. But yeah, I buy them. They'll be there. I don't think they'll win it, but they'll be there for sure.
All right. Buy or sell Florida State. The end is nearing for Mike Norvell. Now, Florida State fell to 0-3 in ACC play on Saturday against Pitt. And we'll talk about that Pitt team here in a little bit as well. The Noles were favored by double digits and desperately needed to win to have any hope of building momentum in 2025, following losses to Virginia and Miami. Both are ranked teams. The Panthers are not. Instead, the Noles have regressed to a 1-10 in ACC play since the start of the 2024 season, and that magical 2023 year with Jordan Travis continues to get farther and farther down the tunnel. And yeah, I'm buying this. I think the end is near for Norvell. I don't know if it's going to be this offseason. I don't know if it's going to be at the end of the season. But I think he made the right hires. I like Gus Malzahn as an offensive coordinator. I thought that was a home run hire. But Thomas Castellanos is clearly limited, and he was at Boston College, and that's why he was swept away by Bill O'Brien there. And while he was impressive against Alabama, and while that Florida State win over Alabama is still one of the craziest ones of the season, they haven't really done anything else since. I liked their fight against Miami. They brought it back and made it close. But Florida State should not lose to Virginia on the road, especially when Chandler Morris has 3 interceptions. The defense is really, really disappointing. Mm-hmm. And after they dominated on both lines of the scrimmage against Alabama, I don't know what's clicked or what's unclicked for this team. But you're about to have back-to-back really disappointing seasons for one of the biggest logos in college football, 2 years removed from a really magical season with a ton of NFL talent. Was it that got him to that point? Or has it been, his coaching and everything else? So his timeline at Florida State hasn't been great, and I just think a lot of people remember that magical year with Jordan Travis. Maybe things would have been different if he were able to make the college football playoff with that team, but they have never been the same after that selection Sunday or selection Saturday, whatever you want to call it. Buy or sell, Brett, Florida State nearing the end with Norvell.
Oh, buying this 100%. I can't believe I haven't done it already, especially after you see a guy like James Franklin get the can. This has been terrible. Florida State deserves better than what they're getting. This is a traditional power, and they've been a joke in a very weak conference that you to be 1-10 in the ACC in the last 2 years or year.
Yeah,
it's mind blowing. I know he has a huge buyout, but yeah, this is just it's embarrassing, and that's all you can say. And he needs to be gone. He should have been gone.
Yeah,
right after Franklin got the boot. I mean, he should be gone before Napier even. I mean, it's crazy. They're just keeping this guy around.
Yeah. Alex.
I think he should have been gone a while ago as well. I mean, it's a buy. They should run that conference, them in Clemson. I mean, and when you have that kind of record in conference play over the last few years, I mean, it's unbelievable to me that he hasn't been gone yet. But yeah, it's just it does seem like that undefeated season really, I don't know, what happened there, but really affected them. I mean, what they lose to Jacksonville State in that
last year they were horrible.
So I mean, it's unbelievable that they've lost those games and then your ACC record.
He's worse than Freeze picking quarterbacks in the portal. Aguilar and now Castellanos. It's crazy.
Well, Castellanos is my height out there, and there's a reason.
I mean, he's not been as bad as DJU, but he's still so limited.
Yeah, well, he's
not been bad.
He's not bad, but his bad is not. His bad is bad. I'll say that. His bad is bad, and his good is good, but there's not a middle ground with him.
I mean, what do you think happened since Alabama game? The way that these two
the
teams
fall off is unbelievable.
The way the two teams have gone, it's the exact opposite. I was talking after that game, they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
Easy.
I know.
And I think you picked them to beat Miami. Or at least with the points.
I
or something. You can't go play down to Doak Campbell at 7:30 at night.
Jab, I had him plus 4.5.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
They almost came back and covered.
His buyout's huge, though. It's more than Franklin's.
Yeah.
I think it's over 70.
Yeah, they're stuck.
Fire me.
That would be the biggest ever if they do fire him, right? Because Jimbo's was what?
I think
67?
Jimbo's, yeah.
Jimbo's was up there.
Yeah.
But if his is 70, then that would be the biggest ever.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy.
Buy or sell, we'll focus on a Week 8 matchup that has a ton of history. USC versus Notre Dame is a playoff eliminator. Now, Notre Dame has arguably been the best team in the country since picking up its second loss of the season in Week 2, but that game was in Week 3, I should say. But another defeat would certainly end the Irish's hopes of reaching the playoffs again in 2025. USC, on the other hand, only has one loss so far, but their opponents in strength of record will dwindle if they can't notch a big-time win on the road on Saturday, and I buy that this one is a playoff eliminator. I like USC, but I don't think they have enough opportunities going forward, and this is not going to be a group that's in the Big Ten championship with Ohio State and Indiana. They don't have to play each other, so I think Indiana is going to run the course. I think Ohio State will run the course unless they lose to Michigan. I don't think one loss in the conference is going to be good enough. And if Illinois beat them on a field goal, I mean, like I feel like there are other opportunities the rest of the way as well. So I think it's a playoff eliminator. Obviously, for Notre Dame, you can't lose 3 games. So I say this is a bye right here. USC Notre Dame with playoff implications in Week 8. Gotta love it. Alex, buy or sell?
I'm going to sell this. I think USC's got another chance. Obviously, Notre Dame loses, it's over for them. But USC's got a game at Oregon here at the end of the year. I mean, they won't be at a Big Ten championship game position, but I think they can afford to lose this one. They've got what right now is a ranked matchup in Nebraska coming up next week. And then they got a big one at Oregon at the end of the year. So I think they could still squeak in if they happen to drop this one this weekend.
Okay, buy or sell, Brett?
Yeah, I'm without Alex on this one. I think if they take the L, I think they're still alive. Let's not forget they get surging UCLA to end their season, as well. So, but yeah, I think they can still hang around. Notre Dame's toast, and I think I'd like that if USC wins this one, knocks Notre Dame out of this.
Now you like USC.
I like them to knock Notre Dame out of here. Notre Dame is
on.
just weak sauce this year.
CJ Carr is fun. Out of all the,
I just don't like they can't keep being an independent in this thing. They can't. It's just I hate that.
They should form.
Brett says they can't.
They're not allowed.
Not
to.
allowed.
Well, they should form a conference with the independents. It'd be UConn, UMass. I guess all the other academies are in conferences now. So
yeah,
that'd be fun though. The independent conference, the IC.
So is the playoff not gonna be fun for you if Notre Dame's not in?
Notre Dame's a big brand, man. I love big brands.
I mean, there's still big ones out there, but you got to win football games to get in this thing.
Well, if they win this weekend,
that's why I hate the playoff. They just let you in with 3 losses.
When is there a team?
I can see them still getting in with 3 losses.
No,
they're that big of a brand.
They don't get in with 3 losses. Just
this is it.
This
is it for them.
We don't know how the rest of the season's going to play out, but I mean,
if
they're on the bubble, they're going to put them in.
I don't think there will ever be a season where a 3-loss team makes the CFP.
Really? We'll start next year because SEC is going to have a 3.
I know Clemson had 3 losses last year, but not like for Notre Dame's instance, right? They got to be an at-large.
What was the Big 12 last year? How many losses? Was it at least 2, right?
For Arizona State?
Yeah.
Arizona State only had 1, I believe.
They only had 1? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought there was a pile up of like 2 losses.
No, there was a pile up at the end. Like Colorado had they lost to Kansas late in the year, and like there was a 4-car pile up, but Arizona State was able to divvy it out. But like, I don't think there's ever going to be a 3-loss at-large team.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like Clemson
don't you
made
think
it.
The SEC is going to have that starting like next year?
But that was the conversation around Alabama last year. Had a 3-loss
South
team.
Carolina was rumored, and all these other teams.
Well, I know, and they shouldn't. They don't deserve. You lose 3 games out of,
and they didn't put them in. So I think that's the right way. I agree with you. Yeah.
Ole Miss had 3 losses, and they were sitting there trying to say we should make the playoff.
There were some really quality 3-loss SEC teams last year,
and there were. I don't disagree, but if you only win 75% of your games,
could have 3 losses next year in the SEC and win the SEC. The schedules are getting harder.
Unless it's like,
and you're adding that you have to play the other powers conference team.
Unless it's like you lose to, like, I don't know, 3 teams that are already in the playoff, and those are your 3 losses, maybe. But like South Carolina got axed by Ole Miss at home last year. Ole Miss lost to Kentucky and Florida. I mean,
I think the committee's shown that they are not going to give the brands that boost for a 3-loss because they could have easily done that with Alabama.
Yeah. All right, 3 more. We'll go a little quicker on these. Buy or sell, LSU could fix things offensively. The Tigers now rank 74th in yards per play this season and are all the way down to 94th in yards per carry. Now, LSU's running game is a little bit better against South Carolina. Keep in mind that is a bad defensive line outside of Dylan Stewart. Yeah. They average 5.5 yards per carry. However, 89 of LSU's 166 yards came on just 2 explosive runs from Caden Durham and Juwan Johnson. So I'm going to sell this. I've watched this movie, 6 times now, and it's still the same product. I mean, they can barely put up points. That defense is insane. That defense, they did a hell of a job with that defense, and they needed to because they have been the Achilles heel for this team for years. But Garrett Nussmeier just is not that guy. He's just not that guy. He just is too inconsistent for me. And a lot of these receivers they added in, I love Aaron Anderson,
Barry and Brown.
I like a lot. But like Nick Anderson's kind of been an afterthought. I think they need to get the ball to Trey Green more often. Trey Green's 6'7" out there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just grabs.
Yeah, he's a basketball player.
Yeah, he really is.
So I've just given up on LSU's offense. Like if they're going to win games, it's going to be because of their defense and they create turnovers and they put them in position. So I'm selling that LSU can fix things offensively. Buy or sell, Brett?
You want to buy it because you feel like they can get like 3 touchdowns a game because then they'd win these games. Like it feels like their defense is good enough. You think they're Nussmeier's just not healthy to me. He just looks terrible. Like the drop off is significant, but
yeah.
I mean, you got to sell it. I mean, I think they're going to win this weekend personally, but yeah, I got to sell it though today.
Okay.
I think they're going to lose to Vandy this weekend.
Yeah.
I like Vandy this weekend. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get everything back on track. I mean, Nussmeier's just been what a disappointment. But yeah, this is going to, and their schedule remaining is tough. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how many losses this team ends up with at the end of the year. But and I don't think they win this weekend in Nashville.
Yeah, it's tough to go into the V and get a win.
Yeah, it is.
Buy or sell. Ole Miss is fool's gold. Let's review the resume here. 7-point win over Kentucky, 6-point win over Arkansas, 5-point win over LSU, and a 3-point win over Washington State, plus blowouts against also Rans like Tulane and Georgia State. I'm going to kind of sell I'm going to kind of buy this at the moment. I do like Ole Miss. I've got them top 5 in the country because of their resume. They're undefeated and have a solid win over LSU. But the more and more I watch the rest of these teams play, LSU just isn't that good offensively, and Ole Miss continues to play in these close games. I don't know if last week was a look ahead to Georgia and thought they could just walk over Washington State, but how the hell does that end up in a 3-point decision? Washington State's not, I mean, they're terrible. So I like Ole Miss. I like Trinidad Chambliss. I like a lot of parts of this team. But right now I kind of buy because just look at the resume. They're not really beating teams dominantly. They're playing in these, one-score games, one-possession games. For a college football team, that's not something that's sustainable. Right now I buy that they're fool's gold. Alex, what do you say?
I'm going to sell. I think this is what Lane Kiffin's done his whole time there is just be consistent. He gets to 10 wins every year, and I feel like they kind of squeak by sometimes in these games. I mean, I think, here in the second half of the season, we're going to find out what they are. But right now, I like what I'm seeing. I mean, obviously, you insert a guy like Chambliss kind of partially through the year, so it's going to be tough. But no, I like what I'm seeing. I mean, obviously, ginormous test this weekend, and then they pretty favorable schedule after Georgia. I mean, I don't know. I think they're looking good down the stretch here. So I kind of like what Lane's doing over there right now, and I think Ole Miss is going to end up in a good spot here.
All right, and to Brett.
So. I'm selling this as well. Like the key word you said, they're winning, and that's all that matters in the grand scheme of things. You can win ugly, win pretty, and that's what you have to do in a college football season as well. But if they get past this one, man, even if they don't, you're looking at 11-1. I mean, probably going to Atlanta. In all honesty, so this is a big moment for Ole Miss on the road at Georgia.
All right, buy or sell, the final one. Miami will finish the season undefeated, and I'm selling. Look, Miami does not face another ranked opponent the rest of the way. You might be saying, William, who the hell are they going to play?
I think we might have the same pick here, William.
You're gonna say, well, maybe SMU, right? Kevin Jennings, maybe. I'm not a big SMU fan. Maybe Syracuse. I don't know. Oh no. I'm looking at the end of the schedule. I'm looking at Virginia Tech, and I'm looking at Pitt. What do those two games have in common? Outside, in the cold, on the road. This is where Miami stumbles. This is where they've stumbled year in and year out. It's these games at the end of the season, and even though last year was in a dome at Syracuse, and they lost that one, but these cold weather games that they're not used to playing, they played all these games at home. That Pitt-Panther matchup, I see is right now a possible upset. And that's why I'm going to sell that Miami will finish the season undefeated. That matchup in week 14, don't sleep on it. I know Virginia Tech's a mess too, but Blacksburg will be up for that one. That's 11. Yeah, I don't know what time the kick is. Yeah,
on Thanksgiving.
Huh?
They'll be away on Thanksgiving.
Oh, stop.
Eating some other.
No, hey, that's the matchup before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So they'll be there.
I'll get an early jump on the road.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh, they've got football going on Sunday that next week. They'll be back in town for the Pitt Panthers. So I'm selling it.
Love that's I have the exact same take. And little tidbit for you guys here. So the week before this game, before Pitt and Miami, the Western Pennsylvania high school championship games are being played at Acrisure Stadium. So that field's going to be a mess. I don't know if you guys saw the field this week.
Yeah, I saw
and the
it.
last time Miami went to Pittsburgh in this spot with ranked top 5, they lost that game. So I think Pitt with this freshman quarterback, Aiden Heinschel, I think is his last name, who's been lighting it up.
Yeah.
I love Pitt in this game, which is a pain for me to say, but I think Pitt is going to get it done there late in the season.
You guys done? This is a joke, right? They got to play Notre Dame and Georgia Tech before they end the season with Miami. Pitt does. They're not going to have anything left in the tank after that brutal stretch. Pitt.
But Pitt gets up for these games.
No,
this is a classic.
They get up all they want.
There's going to be nobody.
They can get up 10-0.
There's going to be nobody there. There'll probably be more Miami fans, honestly.
That's why you have Carson Beck, though. He's got the experience. He knows how to win these games, and he's
and
their defense is just lights out. They're going to cause all sorts of problems.
He's going to need that Louis jacket. It's going to be cold.
They're going undefeated.
It's going to be cold. I'm going to sell because I've seen Miami play.
I know, and they look dang good.
We've seen this movie.
They were worse last year, though.
This is a much better team. This is a damn good team. I'm not taking away from that, but this is college football.
It is.
Who would have thought that Penn State would have lost to
You just said they're going to go to
UCLA?
2-5 Blacksburg and get beat.
All I was saying was I'm not saying they're going to get beat by Virginia Tech.
You said it cold weather. Oh,
I'm just saying, look at the spot. Look at the spot. 2 games, end of the year, frigid temperatures outside. They haven't done that before this season. I don't think it's as ridiculous as you're saying, Brett.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
You are the minority here, Brett.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I love that.
66% of the panel says Miami's not going undefeated.
Whatever. I can't believe he picked Pitt over here. He's a West Virginia guy.
I know, but that's the thing. I've seen Pitt do this time and time again.
All right, when we come back, it's the Unction tonight on Thursday Night Football. We'll break it down when we return right here on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Hi, this is Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group of Realty Executives. And I know there's a lot of choices here in East Tennessee when it comes to choosing a realtor. Here's why the Kregner Group is different. At the Kregner Group, our motto is walking by faith, serving others. It's how I live my life. It's how I run my business. Here at the Kregner Group, we're committed to doing real estate the right way. Faith, honesty, integrity. The Kregner Group. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or visit my website at bonoshouses.com.
It's football time in Tennessee, so crack open a cold beer that doesn't fumble the flavor. Garage Beer is 100% beer-flavored beer. No gimmicks, just cold beer. Built for bonfires, backyards, and beating Bama. Garage Beer is proud to be brewed right here in the Volunteer State. So pick up a 12-pack today and look for the drive celebrating Football Fridays at select Garage Beer headquarters around town this fall. American-owned, Tennessee-brewed Garage Beer. 100% beer-flavored beer.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for. including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
All right, rounding out things on a Thursday here in K-Town. Man, these shows go by so quick when we got so much to talk about. Coming up here in about 23 minutes, it's The Drive right here on Fan Run Radio. Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, the Bear, and Walker Smith rounding out your day. Getting ready for a big matchup between Tennessee and Alabama. They'll join you from 3 to 6 right here on Fan Run Radio. We'll switch to tonight. We got Thursday Night Football, Steelers and Bengals. We've been joking about it for the last hour and a half. Some old quarterbacks going to battle. You would have thought this game was being played in 2013 if you said Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco were suiting up. But nope, it's 2025 on Amazon Prime. And the Bengals find themselves at home as 5.5-point underdogs. They've lost 4 straight. And this is a team that is trying to grasp any sort of life right now at this point in the season. Obviously, Joe Burrow missing significant time is a big reason why this team is sitting at 2-4. But on the other side of the coin, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been very impressive at 4-1. Aaron Rodgers, a guy that wasn't horrible last year for the Jets numbers-wise, but it was a very disappointing tenure in New York. And he got revived another time and is now playing for the Steelers and is playing good football. Now, we argued earlier in the week on Tuesday, I don't believe that Rodgers is the reason why this team is winning. I think he is a big part because he's, making the right play and he's not putting the Steelers in harm's way. But to me, winning is the reason why they're winning. I look at a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes or something like that. The guy is just making plays after play. I think the Steelers have a really good defense. They've leaned into that. They have a lot of opportunities offensively, and as long as they don't turn the ball over and make mistakes on that side, they're just fine. But Rodgers has been what they have needed for him, and I think he's been better from what we've seen over the last couple of years since he left Green Bay. That being said, though, these primetime games over the last couple of weeks, the underdog has won outright. Now, the Bengals, I think, are a little bit of a different story here, but you would have thought the same when the Patriots and Bills, went up against each other. You would have thought the same when the Falcons and Bills went up against each other. But do you guys think the Bengals have any shot of winning this one? I know the 5.5-point spread isn't huge, as we've seen some 8.5 numbers, but in this game we're in Pittsburgh, it'd be 9.5, so you get that 4 points for home field advantage. Actually, it'd probably be more than that. But regardless, do you guys think the Bengals have any shot of winning this one? What has to happen for Cincinnati to find a way to win? Alex, begin with you.
I think Joe Flacco has to win Cincinnati the game because, the Steelers' defense has been, these past 2 weeks, has just been incredible. And they, forced turnovers like nobody's business. And they've been, Nick Herbig has been a huge breakout star for them on the defensive side. And I don't know, I'm nervous about Joe Flacco just because, you insert a guy like him into a Bengals offense with elite receiving, I kind of get nervous. And the Steelers had some trouble earlier in the year with communication in the secondary and against the Jets and the Seahawks. So, I think that could be an issue. Should, communication be an issue on the road once again? But I think the Steelers are really good in Cincinnati. And even if Burrow were to be in there, they've been really good against the Bengals. Last year they went in there and really dominated, had their highest scoring game of the season. So I think I feel pretty good about the Steelers tonight. I think it'll be close. I think Cincy could cover. But I'm rolling with the Steelers tonight. I think Rodgers will play well. I think the defense will play good enough to win. I don't think they'll play as good as they have these past few weeks. But no, I think Flacco's the X factor here. Very ironic, but I think he's the X factor.
Yeah, a couple numbers real quick to look at. The Steelers defense has been pretty solid this year, ranked second in sacks and fourth in red zone efficiency, in addition to third in turnovers. But I will say something of note, 27th in the NFL in passing yards allowed. So guys like T. Higgins, guys like Jamar Chase have an opportunity to be strong in that department tonight. But when you look on the other side, for this Bengals defense, it is a horror story. 31st in red zone efficiency, 29th in third down conversion rate, 31st in first downs and passing yards, 28th in rushing yards, 29th in yards per play, 30th in points. Aaron Rodgers is licking his chops right now, looking at those numbers. So I think the key for Cincinnati is you've just got to get this game into a shootout because your defense isn't going to be able to do their part. And maybe that passing game up against the Steelers secondary that has been inconsistent this season, getting guys like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins involved is the best way around it. Brett, do you give the Bengals much of a shot tonight?
Yeah, you give them a shot. It's division rivals and stuff like short week, so anything can happen, and we've seen that. I've come in here and said, the Rams are going to kill the 49ers. 49ers are depleted, that sort of thing. And anytime you have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, you're going to have a chance. And Flacco at least gave him a pulse against the Packers last week. Chase had 10 catches, kind of dominated them. So a good secondary from the Packers too. So I think it'll be close, but I'll take the Steelers in a close one as well.
Okay. The level of intrigue on this game. Obviously, some of these Thursday night football games, really some of these primetime games, obviously they make the schedule early in the season. Mm-hmm. This should have been a Joe Burrow versus Aaron Rodgers, and that would have a little bit more pizzazz to it. But, last week it was Eagles-Giants. You thought you'd be under the covers at 10 o'clock, and instead it's Jackson Dart and Scattaboo, the pit bulls of New York, going crazy. Obviously, I'm the college football sicko, so I'll be watching Tulsa and ECU, but
that's outrageous.
It's not outrageous. It's not outrageous.
Okay.
It probably is. My friends, even on Tuesday, they're like, Pat, what are you watching? I'm like, I got on the right side of the YouTube TV.
You can throw it in the quad box at least.
Well, but it's not on YouTube TV.
It's on Prime. That's right.
So, Tuesday, I had FIU, Western Kentucky on this one. I had New Mexico and Liberty on the top one. And I had, what was the other Wednesday night game? I had all three of those Conference USA games on TV. And they were like, dude, playoff baseball's on. I was like, I'm watching college football.
I respect it. Hey, sickos are going to sicko. I like it.
Yeah. So the level of intrigue for me, probably on a division matchup, probably a 6.8.
I'll be at a 10.
A 10.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Leads right into his Penguins at 10.
Say the least. Yeah, we got a nice doubleheader tonight. But
yeah, you got a lot going on right now. Well, you'd have even more going on if the Pirates were a better team, but
yeah, I'd rather not talk about them.
What's your level of intrigue, Brett?
I've got Higgins going in fantasy, so there's a little intrigue there. Don't really have a choice to start him, rather not start him, but bye weeks and things like that. So, it'll be on one of the other TVs. I'll probably be more locked into the Preds game personally at 7. So,
any late reruns of Jeopardy or Judge Judy?
I do try and catch Jeopardy every now and again. I don't know the answers, but the brain.
I was at the doctor's office yesterday. They had Jeopardy on. Now it was on the most doctor's office TV ever. Crooked, like Vizio from 2000 in the corner.
I always just hope there's a sports category. That's all I hope for when I watch this thing. Yeah, they're quick. They go by quick, so it's something to watch, I guess. But no, I won't watch tonight. Preds start at 7, so I like the early start.
See, I'm just not a hockey guy.
I love hockey.
I watched the Preds when they were making that Stanley Cup run. What was it, 2017?
2017.
Yeah, I watched that, but
yeah,
I got too much going on to get hockey too. my 4 are college football, NFL,
and
college basketball, NBA.
Next week.
Next
Tuesday it starts.
6 days away.
Yeah.
You Grizz fan?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
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 Bleacher Report, I don't know if you saw it, came out with their top 100. They didn't have your guy in the top 30, Jaw, of NBA players.
Am I supposed to be moved by Bleacher Report with those?
I don't know. I don't know. People are hating on your guy.
Well, ESPN does that every year too, and it just mind boggles me where they'll put these guys.
They going to be good this year, Memphis?
Well, it's all about health. I think this is a good team. I like what they did in the offseason. I like Ty Jerome a lot. Really good with the floater in the paint, and then obviously he was a good 3-point shooter last season for the Cavs. Now, does that relate to Tomas and his offensive system? We'll have to see. But Morant really
Big
likes it.
Edie do.
My guy Javon Small.
Yeah. Small had a good game last night.
I saw. Yeah, he did have a good night. What, 24 points?
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
They played the Hornets. The Hornets will be the official
awful.
team of NBA League Pass this year.
Yeah, they're showing the LaMelo where you dribble through the guy's legs and through the oop to Miller.
Unserious basketball.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
All right, we'll wrap it up on the other side with our final thoughts. Stay right here. It's the Playbook presented by VIP Play.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
All right, rounding out things on a Thursday. Week is flying by. We'll be back tomorrow for our keys to the game and much more, getting ready for the third Saturday in October. Coming up next, it's The Drive. Bob Baskerville, Russell Smith, The Bear, and Walker Smith rounding out your Thursday, 3 to 6 right here on Fan Run Radio. Alex, are you going to the game Saturday?
Yes, we will be there.
Okay,
Beacon
good
will
stuff.
be there.
First time?
First time in Tuscaloosa.
There you go.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was blessed to have the opportunity to go to a lot of games during my college time as well, and just getting to see the different environments, different atmospheres, different campuses and stuff like that's really cool. So T-Town was nice. I mean, I obviously had a lot of friends there, so I'd go a couple of times.
Yeah.
But Bryant Denny is built interesting to where I felt like all the noise files out on the sides, and when you're there, you'll see it. I don't know if you've ever been to a game there.
When we went to Mississippi State, we stayed in Tuscaloosa, and so the day we went to leave, we went and ate at Ramajama, the little place right next. So I've seen Bryant Denny, but I've never been inside of it.
Okay. So yeah, they've got like these sides where I feel like all the noise escapes. Like in Neyland, it's all in cave, like you can't escape it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that loud on the first. I went in 2023, and obviously things were going really, really well.
Yeah.
We were sitting there in line, and Joe Milton's high school friend was behind me, and he was so excited because Tennessee was up by 10, and he was buying people drinks in the line and everything. The vibes were high, and then quickly things collapsed. But getting to go see that group play, like with Nick Saban there and all of that. I mean, that was really cool. But good college town as well. I never made it out, but I know those lines get pretty popular.
I'm sure.
But I feel like when you travel to all these places, though, it's just interesting to see like kind of the dynamic of what the landscape there. It's just just flat.
Yeah,
it's flat.
It is.
So in Knoxville, it's like you're doing an incline on the Stairmaster everywhere you go. But I feel like that gives it character and something different. But like that, it was Alabama was that way. LSU was that way, very flat. Florida was very flat. But then like you go to like Georgia, I thought was pretty cool, very hilly. Arkansas I was very surprised with too.
Sure, Oklahoma was flat, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma. I felt like I was about to get hit by a tumbleweed.
Were you covering games, or you just went as a fan?
Just went as a fan.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah. So like last year, I went to every game.
Wow.
Home and away. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
And then I'd always go for the away game. The only away game I missed throughout my starting in sophomore year on, the only away game I missed was South Carolina. Ended up being, I guess, a good one to miss. But we had a formal that night, or ex-girlfriend at the time had a formal that night, couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed off. I was like, oh gosh, like be a great game. Like, so I haven't been to a game in South Carolina, but I guess I lucked out not going because everyone was like, gosh, get us out of here. The most miserable trip though was Georgia 2022.
Yeah.
Number one, Tennessee.
That was the Stetson Bennett phone call. Yeah.
And it was pouring rain.
Yeah.
Like, also, I had a Georgia student ticket too. So here's the funny thing, Brett, you'll get a kick out of this. So I had a Georgia student ticket. So I had to sit in the Georgia student line to get in. And the line was wrapped around, and they were people were selling a lot of tickets that week. So you didn't even know if you'd get in because a lot of them were getting scammed. So I was sitting there with my friend, and he bought one, I bought one, and his didn't scan. But mine ended up did scanning, but I was wearing like a Tennessee shirt, but it was gray, and I flipped it inside out so I would fit in, and people wouldn't be like, why is this guy getting in?
Yeah.
And I stuffed my Hendon Hooker jersey in my pants so I could still wear it at the game.
Oh, man.
But it was so rainy and bad. Like, I put the shirt over my head at the beginning to try and like prevent the rain, and then it just got so bad where we were all soaked. I left that shirt there at the stadium. But it's fun traveling those games. So.
Yeah, it is. It's been really cool this year.
And this has been your first year doing it, correct?
Yeah, just covering the team. I mean, as a fan, I went to Kentucky in 23. So that was the only Tennessee game as a road game as a fan that I went to. So, yeah, covering the team has been really cool this year for the road games.
I went to Kentucky in 2015. That was my one trip to Kentucky. Not a bad place.
Not bad at all.
It'll be probably rocking next week, though,
Should
Brett.
be.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
2 night games in a row. It's going to be some late nights for us, that's for sure.
Outside of college football, the coolest venue you've ever been to?
Just sports venue?
Yeah, just sports venue.
Man.
Coolest one.
I will say.
Brett, you as well.
DKR, Texas. I went to West Virginia, Texas, 2019. That place was cool.
Okay.
Heinz Field?
Wrigley Field.
Wrigley Field?
Wrigley Field, yeah.
Heinz Field's not up there?
Oh, it's trash.
What about you? What about you, Brett?
I went to school in Bristol. I've been to the race up there, Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
That thing's just, it's in the middle of nowhere, but just the size and just, that race is something else. I will say, going to a NASCAR race, especially Bristol night race, was wild. And I haven't been, playing soccer all through college. I wasn't able to get out and go to many places when I was playing soccer and stuff like that. So I missed out on a lot of that stuff. But Bristol, I guess for me would probably be number one.
Yeah, Bristol's cool though.
Yeah.
Tennessee and Virginia Tech obviously played there.
I should have gone to the baseball game. I bet that was pretty.
Well, that baseball game this year was a kind of a disaster, was it not?
I heard some more stories from my buddies
with the
who went to
rain.
that.
Yeah. Just the way it's set up and stuff. But yeah.
Dan Ram chimes in on the chat. Williams-Brice is underrated. Great venue and great environment. And that is referring to South Carolina. So the only 3 SEC venues I haven't been to: South Carolina, Auburn, and actually 4. Texas A&M. So I've been to 12 out of the 16.
Williams-Brice is cool. I was there. I was in Columbia a few years ago and just saw it from the outside. It looks really cool, and it definitely is.
With this new schedule, we should be able to get to them, right?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, they're on it. I don't know what year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year. But
Texas is here, so you'd have to wait a couple of years.
Yeah.
My personal favorite venue of all time, it's no longer standing, but the Georgia Dome. I love the Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
I've got SEC season tickets or SEC championship season tickets, so I'll always go, even if Tennessee doesn't play. So I got to go to a couple in the Georgia Dome. That place is cool, and the new one, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the nicest venue.
Definitely the nicest. Right, yeah, I'll agree with that.
Big, wide concourses, friendly payments on the food. I'm a sucker for souvenirs.
The press box is exquisite as well. Very nice.
Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap it up for a Thursday edition of the Playbook presented by VIP Play. We appreciate you listening along with us. For Brett Hullander, Alex Sarkis, I'm William Pattison. Coming up next, it's The Drive right here on Fan